Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted on here in forever and I do apologise, but I'm back to it. So in today's video I'm going to be doing this eye makeup look. I actually did this look as one of the last little clips I needed in a TikTok video, so if you want to check that out I'll leave my TikTok username in the description below. I actually really enjoyed doing that TikTok. It took me bloody ages, but I feel like it was good because it was for all different colours, eyeshadow like colours, so I did eyeshadow colours, yeah. But yeah, it definitely made me get a bit creative. But yeah, if you'd like to see how I create this cut crease tutorial, I feel like during isolation I've really gotten better at my cut creases on myself, especially obviously because I'm only doing it on myself, so it's definitely given me a chance to be able to practice. Let me know anything that you've been getting better at during isolation, because that's all you've been doing basically. But yeah, if you'd like to see how I create this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, starting off by brushing through my brows as always and starting to fill them in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo. Again, as always, I use the shade Medium Brown. I love the shade. I think it's such like a natural shade and it's really similar to my eyebrow color as well. And it kind of gives like that more of like a feathering effect, I find, once I put some brow soap through it as well. It doesn't make it too blocky, which I love. I'm also using the Holy Grail brow duo brush because it's amazing and I use it for my brows every day. Then I'm just going to be taking the P. Louise eye base in the shade 02. This is one of my favorite products on the actual planet, I think. I love it so much. So I use it to clean up under my eyebrows just to make them look a little bit neater. And then I go in with it all over my eyelid as well, just to make sure that I prime everything. And honestly, this just makes every single eyeshadow pop so much, and it's so easy to blend on top of as well. If you're struggling to blend eyeshadow like on a normal concealer, try this base because it is so worth it. I definitely recommend getting a clean brush and kind of patting over your eye as well, just to make sure that there's no excess product, because sometimes it can mix in with the eyeshadow and make the eyeshadow go a little bit lighter, so you want there to be no excess product. So you've got a clean base to start. So the first color that I'm going to be taking is from the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival XL Pro palette, and I'm going to be taking the shade The Hype. It's like a emerald green but a lighter version of it. Oh my god, I'm honestly obsessed with this color. It's such a nice shade. I'm then going to be taking the shade Ecstasy, which is like a really light fluoro kind of green, and using that to blend out the darker green shade. I'm only doing this in the inner corner of my eye because I'm going to be doing another shade on the outer corner of my eye. The next shade I'm going to be taking is Reckless. So it's like a really deep purple. It doesn't look like a purple in the pan really, but once you put it on with the base, it's just a really deep purple. So I'm kind of crossing over from where the green has ended, just so I can try and get that blend together. I do actually end up applying a little bit of blue, I think, in between the two, just to give it a little bit more of a transition, because obviously green going into purple, it's not really like similar at all. So the blue kind of gave it, yeah, I just put the blue there, so it kind of gives it a little bit of a transition. I think I just mixed Soft Spot and Make Waves just to help it blend a little bit better. And then taking that into the outer corner of the eye as well, just because we're going to be doing a normal cut crease today. So just to give the outer corner a little bit more depth, I'm using a brush that is kind of quite small and it's really precise. I love this brush for making sure that, I don't know, like really applying that pigment to the eyeshadow. I've definitely been loving using smaller brushes recently. I find that in isolation I've definitely figured out different techniques and stuff that I love to use. I'm then going to be taking Wasted, which is a more bright purple shade, and just using that to blend out the edges of the eyeshadow as well. Again, I'm just going to be blending this out also where the green section is too, to make sure that they blend together nicely, because obviously that's what we want. We want it all to blend. I add a little bit more of the blue as well. I think I added Mood this time just to kind of blend the darkness of the purple and then into the green. So that actually worked really well. The brush that I'm using here is the Morphe M506 brush. I have got about 7 of these, I think, and they're super affordable as well. They just honestly give the most amazing blend, and honestly, yeah, I can't recommend a better small blending brush. It's so good. So I'm just diffusing that kind of where my brow bone is, and then I'm going to be applying a mixture of Foolish and Pep Talk. So Foolish is like a peachy sort of color, and Pep Talk is again like a fluoro kind of pinky color. So I'm just using that to blend out the edges of the purple. Just because I quite like pinky sort of colors coming out towards my temple once I've done my foundation. I don't know what it is, I just love that sort of shade coming out towards, the temples. I think it just looks really nice. To get the blend, I'm kind of going back in with the Reckless color and also Wasted, just to make sure that I haven't missed or gone over any of the colors that I'd previously put down. And again, just making sure that we've got that blend of the colors all there. Blending is definitely a process, but I find that when you're putting down the color, if you almost blend out the edges as you're putting down the color, it makes life a little bit easier for when you're blending the other colors into it, if that makes sense. I'm then just going in with a Q-tip, and I applied a little bit of Vaseline to the Q-tip as well, just to help create that really crisp line, because the product that we're about to use next works best over clean, fresh skin. So, and also that way as well, you're not going to be getting any of the color from the other eyeshadows into the cut crease part. So I'm using the Mitchell and P. Louise collab, which is the Acid Rain paints. This one is in the shade Blank Canvas, and it is bloody amazing. I'm honestly obsessed with it. The brush I'm using is linked in my bio on Instagram. It's just a brush from Spotlight Source, so it's actually a paintbrush, but it goes super flat and super defined when you've got the product on it. I'm just packing this all over my lid. This, like I said before, works best over fresh, clean skin because it actually dries slightly, so you're not going to get that creasing. I do apply a little bit of eyeshadow over it just to make sure that it's 100% dried and it's not going to move anywhere, but it definitely doesn't crease, and it's really easy to work with as well. When I get to the edges, I kind of blend out the edges slightly just so, again, I can get that blend. Like I mentioned before, if you're blending out the edges, when you go over the top of that and blend inwards, it just makes life so much easier. I'm then just patting over that with a clean brush just to make sure, again, there's no excess product that we don't need on there. Then once I've let the product slightly dry, I'm going to go back in with that Ecstasy shade. So this is before I set down the whole entire lid, and I'm going to be running this across the lash line area just because I wanted to do a blended out kind of green and blue liner. So now I'm just going in with the shade Pillow Talk and just patting that into the cut crease just to make sure that it is set down and it's not going to be moving anywhere. Then I just make sure that that green shade is nicely blended out, and I'll go back in with the Reckless shade, which is the dark purple, and just blend that in the outer corner of the eye just to make sure that the blank canvas and also the eyeshadows blend together nicely, because I feel like that is one of the hardest parts about a cut crease I found when I was kind of learning how to do them, is really hard to get that blend. Then again, using that Vaseline technique, I've just wiped away a kind of liner shaped line, and I'm just going to be applying the blank canvas over the top of it again because, like I mentioned before, it works best over clean, fresh skin. Over the top of that, I'm going to be applying a blue shade, which is from the James Charles palette. So I used the shade Brother. I mixed a tiny little bit of Playground in as well, just to kind of create this electric blue shade. I just found that I just really wanted something to pop on the eyes, and I really like the contrast between blue and green, like especially a fluoro green and a bright blue. I think it looks really cool. So just pressing that over the top of the blank canvas once I've left it to kind of sit for a little while. Then I'll just go back in with that Reckless shade and just make sure that everything is blended. I then take the Sugar Pill pigment in the shade Lumi, which is like a white pigment with a reflect of like blue. It looks really nice over the top of the blank canvas paints. I'm then going to be going underneath the eye once I've cleaned up a little bit with the P. Louise base again and just blending that downwards just so I've got a lot of space to kind of work with. I'm then going to be going in with the shades Boy Bye and Inferno Mix, which is a red shade. Well, they're both red shades, sorry. And just going super close to my lash line with that and trying to blend that in again with the purple in the outer corner just to make sure that the whole eye is like got a really good flow to it. Then I'm just going to apply the shade Lit, which is a orange color, and Keen, which is a yellow color, to my lower lash line as well. I love these colors mixed together. It kind of gives off like fiery sort of vibes. Yeah, I just love. Like I said before, I just go in with that Morphe brush again and just make sure that everything blends together really nicely. I do add a tiny little bit of pink where the purple and the red color meet. Just applying some lashes. These ones are from Bala Beauty and they're the Power Lashes. They are so fluffy and so big and I am obsessed. I also added Inglot's red liner to my waterline as well. So here we have the completed look. I hope you all enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you out a lot. I love how this look turned out. When I was kind of doing it before the foundation, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know about these colors, because obviously it's like literally every single color. But I actually really love how it turned out. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!